Welcome back to the Amateur Footy Show, Grassroots Footy, brought to us by West End. New segment for the viewers out there. This one's called Footy Chicks, Footy Trip. Lisa's going to go out to a footy club each week and get the dirt on what's going on out there. This week she was at the Mitcham Footy Club and this is how it panned out.
Hi guys. Welcome to the first Footy Chicks Footy Trip for year 2011 on Grassroots, proudly brought to you by West End. I've decided to take my first trip this week to Leafy Hawthorn to visit the Mitcham Football Club, otherwise known as the Batcave, due to none other than Adam West being the A-grade coach. We're going to have a chat to Westy tonight, we're going to have a chat to the Prez, and we're going to ask a few stupid questions to some of the players and give away a slab of beer, so let's get with it.
We started really at Div 5, nearly relegated about 7 or 8 years ago, and the club's come through from there and worked its way up to Div 3, and we're really pleased to have done that to date. Back in those early days, the club was very, very shy on people to help out, and we go back to that very, very early days. Graham Flint and Bob Fleming were two people that kept the club afloat back 7 or 8 years ago. Graham was our president and Bob was our treasurer, and the two of them worked all the way through. Graham dropped off a few years back and Bob went on to be president. So those two people in particular, and Mike Vickers, a former president, have really kept this club together over that 8-year period, which is, they've been fantastic.
I think the guys hit out in the first round against Flinders Park, who were touted as the premiership favourites. You know, to go down by 18 points. I thought we actually were pretty good that day. It was a great contest, probably a bit of scrappy footy, but I felt that, you know, we just ran out of legs in the end. I think if we had, you know, a couple more players on the bench, because we had a few injuries, we probably would have had a, you know, different finish. But last weekend was terrific. We always have good rivalry against Para Hills, and it was just another one of those great clashes. So all in all, I'm happy. I think the direction we're going is the right way. I mean, obviously we want to improve on last year. Making the finals just. We just want to improve on that. Obviously, get in the finals and then see how we compete in that way. So, look, things are going on the right way anyway. We've got a number of things we want to do. Obviously, you aspire to play the highest grade you can. So we've come to this level. We'd like to think that over the next 3 to 5 years we could win a premiership and go up to Div 2 and possibly Div 1. So I suppose that's where the direction is. We've had a big loss in Kieran Flanagan. He's been out with Central Districts. Although we've heard a few whispers that he might be back with us in a couple of weeks, which is great. But again, they'll probably take him because he's just coming back from injury. So that's a big loss. But other than that, we've had some good gains. We've got Matty Evans from Riverton and Michael Geddes from Central Whaler, and hopefully Matty Rowe from South Adelaide and West Adelaide. Nice. So a couple of key recruits. Yeah, and plus there's, you know, this is what's great about Mitcham. You know, those guys socially are getting, you know, out with their mates and telling them it's a great club. So we're getting a lot of young blokes that having a kick and a catch with their mates too, and they've turned out to be pretty good players, so we're doing all right. We virtually ran as two separate clubs up until this year, and the junior committee and senior committee have ratified that next year we merge the two clubs as one club, and we become one Mitcham. And I think there's a lot of different clubs out there that run separately, but that's a great initiative from our junior committee and our senior committee. So we're working as one club at the moment, but separated. Next year it'll all be together, and a very exciting time for the football club.
Lee Quirban, B grade and full forward.
Steph Priestley, B grade player coach, half back, centre.
Brett Ellis, A grade and half forward flank, swapping in ruck roving. Tip top club, good culture and great people pretty much.
Just the atmosphere, good bunch of blokes and success.
Just the atmosphere, great bunch of blokes, good Saturday nights. I would have to be Steph Priestley by sure. I thought he's pretty much got a head like a hedgehog.
Stephen Priestley, I'd have to say myself.
He's covering up his age when he does that. Well, I've kicked about 7 against Kilburn once in a quarter of footy, so I thought that was pretty impressive.
Guys not rocking up to training. Just walking out with these blokes every single week, it's good fun.
Who looks at themselves? Oh, that'd have to be Maso, Johnny Mason.
It'd be Johnny Mason.
John Mason, by a mile. Oh, it'd have to be Jeansy because he'd get drunk and smash everything up pretty much.
Shane, Showdog, Newbound. Strange man.
Yeah, I reckon Shane Newbound, just a weird bloke. Or Sam Clark, he'd just be a mess. Just be disgraceful.
Excellent. Thanks, Freddie.
All good.
Oh, finally, one more question.
Hit me.
How do you get such big arms?
And the winner this week, Jude Lamb of Mitcham, took the West End carton home. I'd put it a bit closer to you, Macca, but I know what had happened to it. Jude would never see it, so we'll just pop it down over there as far away as I can from you. Let's have a look at what's going on. Division 3, Para Hills up against Pembroke at the Paddocks.
Look, Pembroke unbeaten so far and are looking the goods. Young Barty Staritsky's coaching him out there. He played at Nord and I think had a stint at North Melbourne as well. And it's obvious what he's brought to their club. And Pembroke are up and about, so I think Pembroke would get the chocolates there.
All right, comfortable with Pembroke. All right, Seaton Ramblers up against CBC OC at the Pedlar Reserve.
Seaton has surprised a few teams because they did lose a lot of players in the off-season, so they're probably doing a lot better than what people expected them to, and they might push it all the way.
All right, Paraka up against Mitcham at Limbom Park.
Limbom Park.
Limbom.
Oh, look, that'll be a toss of the coin, I think. Paraka, home. I think Paraka maybe
Paraka
home.
at home. All right, this will be an interesting one. Flinders Park, Portland at Flinders Park. Go for the home team?
Well, yes, I spoke to Sean Jackson in the off-season, who coaches Flinders Park. They recruited very well, and he's pretty confident that they were going to have a good crack at the Division 3 finals this year. And Portland now coached by Ricky Pearce, who was unceremoniously dumped from Port Districts. And he's picked up the coaching gig at Portland. So
were you surprised with that? You surprised?
Yeah, it was a little bit surprising because he'd done a pretty good job with them the year before, got them into the finals. They had a young group. That's clubs, that's coaching. One day you're there, one day you're gone.
Yeah, always a step closer when you're coaching, aren't you?
Oh, for sure. But I can see Flinders Park, winning that game.
All right, Smosh West Lakes, Golden Grove at West Lakes.
Well, it's a bit of a traveller for the Golden Grove boys. They've got to come down off the hill down to the lake, so that might be the beginning of the end for them. Although Mark Weaver's done a terrific job with Golden Grove, and Smosh, look, home ground, they should be no worries.
All right, you talked about it before we go to Divi 4, the recruiting. Some of the clubs have been able to recruit really well. Some have struggled. Any reason for that?
It's funny, a lot of recruiting, if you get someone to come to your club, 9 times out of 10 they have a mate that wants to come with them. Yep. So, that helps greatly, and we had that this year. We had a lad that wanted to come to our club, Jamie McCall, but he wouldn't come unless his mate come, and his mates turned out to be a very good player for us. So it was a good recruiting coup. All
right, Divi 4, Fitzroy up against Unley at Fitzroy Sports Club.
The Fitzroy Oval. What a beautiful oval. It's I think it's about 30 metres higher in the centre than what it is on the edges, and
that's just for the rain, so it flows off.
It does keep the water off, and it's good to get on the downside because you go a little bit quicker when you're going down. It's not good going up, but I think Fitzroy play on their home ground.
All right, that one. Salisbury up against Pulteney at Salisbury.
Salisbury, what a beautiful ground. Big. If you haven't got your running players out there, you are in trouble, and I'm sure Salisbury will have a good running group and will win at home.
All right, Hectorville up against Kilburn, Daily Oval.
The Hounds, the Heckies, look, again, you talk about beautiful, we're lucky to play on some
great grounds. Beautiful
ovals. Salisbury, Hectorville ground is another one that's a beautiful oval. It's a stone's throw away from Paynham. We do lose a couple of players to there, but we do poach a couple from them as well. Again, Heckies had a very good year, and I think they've gone up the divisions twice. 2 years in a row, and they're doing a pretty good job under Darren Francis, I think, coaching them.
They're doing a good job, all right. Elizabeth, Scotch, Old College.
Scotch have been going down the ranks.
Wonder what you're going to say then. Yep.
Scotch, they have gone down, and it's been a while since they've been down that far in the competition. But coming down is always a good thing as well, because the you can win a lot of games and get a bit of confidence back up, and it can help your football club greatly. So I think that Scotch would be well on the way to having another win.
All right, Westminster up against Greenacres at Glandore Oval. It's a tough oval to play on, Glandore.
Yeah, Glandore, it's just
got
there
that
on the
funny angle.
Yeah, well, it's like Payneham Oval. They run a little bit different to the usual grounds. Yeah, Glandore, you know, they were a big club going back in the early days, and have probably dropped off a fair way. So it would be interesting to see where they are at the moment.
All right, we've got a state game coming up, of course, the amateurs up against country. That's going to be at Easter, Saturday. Big game there at Amy Stadium. How do you see that one?
Look, I'd love to go to this one, but it's the first chance I'll get to have a bit of a break, so I won't be able to go down and have a look at this game. But I'm sure, you know, look, the amateur side playing the country will be a tough game. Last year, I think the SA amateurs won by, I think, 8 goals in the end, I think, last year. But you know, the country team will really be looking forward to, you know, turning that around, and they get, you know, the opportunity to play on a beautiful surface in Footy Park.
Stay with us. Lots to come, of course, after the break. Lisa, the Amateur League Footy Chick's going to join us as we talk about Division 5, Division 6, Division 7. Back in a moment.